Hello, everyone. Do you believe that in just a few hours, an entire familiar neighborhood can turn into a river? Right now, in the heart of North Carolina, that is exactly what is happening. Tropical Storm Chantal suddenly struck, bringing torrential rain too fast for anyone to react. Water flooded every street, sweeping away trash, cars, and even pieces of the sidewalk like scraps of paper. Residents rushed out of their homes in panic, clutching a few hurried belongings, their feet splashing through the icy water. A dam burst, sending water crashing down, tearing apart sections of road and carrying away brick walls. The air was heavy and damp, filled only with the roar of rushing water mixed with hurried calls to one another. Anyone who witnessed this scene fell silent, unable to believe they were standing in what had once been such a peaceful place. Across towns and cities, the relentless rain kept falling, and familiar streets disappeared under the murky water. Cars were abandoned in the middle of the current, their lights still faintly blinking beneath the water, while residents crowded together on higher steps, staring at the rushing water below, too afraid to step down. In darkened apartments, water had already risen to chest level in many rooms. Shouts pounding on doors for help echoed through the night, and flashlight beams flickered along the hallways.
What is that?
In many neighborhoods, people stood on balconies, clutching bags tightly, their eyes fixed on the water below. No one dared to guess what might happen next. They simply waited in silence, hoping the water would recede soon so they could find a way out. All through the night, loudspeakers blared continuously, urging residents to leave the low-lying areas. Rescue teams moved through the darkness, carrying children, helping the elderly, and using ropes to guide each person out of the water. More than 60 residents in Chapel Hill had to abandon their homes, many rescued by boat, wading through dark hallways with water up to their waists. The fire department and emergency crews completed more than 50 rescues during the night, many of them in apartments already flooded to the ground floor. Red lights flashed, sirens echoed, mixed with hurried footsteps down the alleys. Many people brought nothing but papers, and a few clothes standing, huddled in the shelter, their eyes still fixed on the neighborhood they had just left behind. No one said much. They just quietly looked at each other, avoiding eye contact, trying to hide the fear clinging to everyone. The air was as heavy as the persistent rain outside. The next morning, the floodwaters had still not receded, continuing to rush through many streets. A layer of mud covered the roads along with large cracks, while houses and shops stood silent with broken roof tiles and furniture floating in the water. Long lines of vehicles waited, many with only their roofs visible above the surface. In Mabane, a section about 15 meters long of Dickey Mill Road had completely collapsed into the creek below, forming a deep hole and cutting off traffic. A car was trapped in the collapsed section, filled with water with its rear window shattered. Residents gathered along both sides of the road, holding belongings, waiting for rescue teams to guide them. Authorities set up temporary barricades and broadcast warnings for people to stay away from rivers and streams. At the bridges, the water churned fiercely, forming large whirlpools and white foam. The sound of pumps, rescue machinery, and people calling to one another echoed through the thick mist. Amid the wreckage of the shopping center, where glass doors were smashed, and mannequins and shelves lay scattered, store manager Chad Pickens said what he witnessed was truly horrifying. However, he added that the situation here still could not compare to the historic flood in Texas. The essential thing is, all of these are just things, Pickens said. Losing property is painful, but losing people is a completely different kind of loss that nothing can compare to. As the remnants of the storm moved out of the state, the sky over North Carolina stayed gray, and the fog was thick. Waves still crashed hard along the shore, and the undertow kept everyone from daring to step in. Some roofs had their tiles torn off, small warehouses were badly damaged, and many areas still had no power. Rescue crews began clearing debris. Bulldozers and pumps ran non-stop, setting up barricades again and checking power lines. People gathered in the shelter, their eyes fixed on the screen, watching the news. Everyone stayed quiet, quietly holding hands, waiting to go home. The air was still heavy, like the rain that had not fully stopped, and the worry lingered in everyone's hearts. Standing amid that scene, it is hard not to feel sorrow. In just one night, everything familiar can vanish beneath the rushing water. Nature always reminds us how small humans truly are, and how preparation has never been meaningless. If you live in a flood-prone area, learn to listen to the warnings and have an escape plan ready for yourself and your family. Stay calm, be cautious, and cherish every peaceful moment, because no one knows how tomorrow may change.